Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I'm Agam Vakil. Well, the indices may have advanced today, but it certainly was a tough day of trade for the bulls and the bears. We've seen a significant amount of volatility today, and even though we did see gains of around 1% for the Nifty 50, closing just a mark above 9900, there was plenty to keep an eye on when it comes to, well, plenty of moves. Of course, we'll be talking about that in a little more detail in just a bit, but let me address and talking about top gainers. Today we have the HDFC twins doing well, advancing by 4% and leading the gains as far as the benchmark indices go. ICICI Bank, GSW Steel, and Hindalco, among others. And on the losing end, we have Tata Motors substantially weak ahead of earnings. Of course, because of earnings, Bharti Infratel, IndusInd Bank, Tech Mahindra, and Axis Bank also declining. And when it comes to the broader markets, again, it is relatively confusing because we did see, your broader markets, and while it did advance, the advance decline ratio was towards the negative. So we had two gainers for three losers. We did have Zensar Technologies, Swan Energy, Astedium Healthcare, all of them advancing in trade and with good momentum too. But we also had the likes of Shilpa Medicare, which is down 6%, RB Infra, Future Retail, Lemon Tree Hotels, taking a knock over anywhere between 5.5%. On the whole, again, it's a day where it's very tough to call out as to where we're headed, considering what triggered the markets and triggered the volatility was beyond just economics. But on that note, let me get in our market editor Niraj Shah for his thoughts on how things have panned out. Niraj, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Agam. Completely at the mercy of the global cues. I think Samir Arora tweeted what would happen, or I think he said that, oh, great, Indian markets are cheering the US Fed move. But I think that's the nature of the beast right now, right? We're at the mercy of the global markets. And today, too, there's a report that Donald Trump is preparing a $1 trillion infrastructure proposal, which took the Dow futures higher. Europe was anyways taking cues from what the US markets did. And the fact that the Dow futures were higher helped our markets, too. It kind of, the takeaway today is that the global market optimism did kind of triumph over the Indo-China tensions, right? That's the talk of town in India, and it brought down the markets a little bit. The global optimism stayed prevalent. And today, frankly, aside of the banking names that you pointed out, HDFC Twins and some of the others, commodity stocks had a fabulous rally. There was a sharp bounce in private banks too, as you said, but commodity stocks led a really smart rally in the session today. And you have to pay heed to that. We may think that commodity stocks are having a lot of risks, etc., but maybe there is valuation comfort there. And that's why there was some really, really smart move there. Yes, FIs have been net sellers for the last 3-4 days. Yesterday was a big, large sell number two, and maybe that continues. But I think the global optimism is here, and anybody who's trying to bet against the market right now, wherever you are, is effectively trying to bet against any kind of Fed action. And in the near term, that might be hazardous, I think, as a lot of short traders have found out. So going seems to be good for now. And maybe it's showing in the way the derivative picture shaped up today, Agam.
Yes, it's going to be a hard one to call. Again, it's largely range bound when it comes to the movement of the indices, as I've been suggesting, 9,700 on the lower end and 10,200, 10,300 on the other hand. So when it comes to that range, nothing really has been taken out. And we'll get a few more cues. Surprisingly, we've seen the India Volatility Index also, advance and decline, and eventually, once again, we've seen a lot of moves in the VIX, but that's also just around the mark of 30. So not much has changed there either. So we'll be watching out for more clues there. But some of the smaller names, Niraj, I reckon some from the chemical space.
Yeah, chemicals and agrarian stocks, Agam. I think for the last 2 weeks, everybody's arguing about how the agri-related stocks could do well. Maybe not 2 weeks, actually a month. Since that move in escorts, etc., started. Just look at what happened today. So for example, Balrampur Chini, of course, because of sugar and the fact that global sugar consumption seems to be coming off. Zarnikov came out with a note yesterday. This is one of the largest sugar uh, trading and observing body, and they said that the sugar consumption has fallen off the cliff really because of the lockdown. So Balrampur Chini, maybe because of that, came off a bit. But Kaveri Seeds, Dhanuka Agri, almost everything related to rural income, farmer income, rural consumption did reasonably okay. And of course, Aarti Industries in the chemical space had reasons of its own because it clarified in the con call. But aside of that, I mean, it's just brilliant the way some of the agrarian themes are playing out. And if yesterday was PSU banks, today was certainly the agrarian stocks.
Yep, we'll be watching out for some of the agrarian stocks as the advent of monsoons is upon us. But on that note, Niraj, thank you so much for that
Thank
perspective.
you, Agam.
And that's a wrap on the markets. But there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.